Good. So over again, welcome back with another live stream. Welcome back to the channel. We are back with continuation. World Gone Man. The Prey. Continuation. Alrighty. So, sorry about that. Know how they do it. Catch you off guard. So welcome back with the continuation of the World Gone Man, The Prey. And, so yeah, shout out to Dan Reviews and Mega Man. Mega Man is now getting a shout out now because now he is a part of the help in continuing, with the story and everything like that with Mr. Dan. So now both of them are now being included. Well, obviously Dan is, of course, but now Mega Man is being included. So link for Dan Reviews' channel and Mega Man's channel. Links for both of them are in the description. Check them all out. Below, all credit goes to them. Show them love, support. We appreciate it very much. They make fire content, both of them. The playlist for World Gone Man Complete Universe is also in the description, as always, as we continue reacting to World Gone Mad as a whole. So, of course, definitely do check that out if you guys are new. If you guys haven't, definitely do so. Every single episode of everything that is in the universe is in the description in that playlist. So definitely do check it out. Of course, my reaction to this series from beginning to end will, of course, that playlist will eventually be in the description as well. So you guys can check out my entire reaction from beginning to end. Of course, that's going to be a hot minute. I think I'm going to wait till I get fully caught up, and then I'm just going to rack it all out, and then I'll go through every single part that I made and put the playlist there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So, but yeah, so we got a big grind today. This is kind of making up for last week. and such like that. You know, as things get being pushed. So, but yes, links for both of their channels and the playlist is in the description below. Social medias, stay extra notified when I go live or upload content like this, polls, updates, you name it, all down there. Is always second channel, Twitch, Heidelberg channel, become a member, all down there. Is always help get extra content, helps support me. Would appreciate it very much. It goes a very long way. It helps keep me doing what I'm doing, so I appreciate it very much. So yeah, so we got a big one today. We got 6 cards. So it's going to be a little bit of a lengthy one in terms of the stream covering everything. And then the next week's part, we will be finishing season 3 with the last 3 parts. One of them being an hour and a half, so that's going to be insane. So we got a long 3-parter for the next one, and that'll be next week Wednesday. We'll be right back on track as per usual. And then we will be, and then after that, then we'll be on to season 4, which is the new season that is kind of airing right now. So we're almost there. We're almost 100% fully caught up with World Gone Mad. So that's awesome. Of course, we'll be doing Fly By Night as well. Episode 5 will be next, right after this one. So definitely do stay tuned for that as well. The Fire series from Mr. Dan reviews. And then we'll be also looking at the sneak peek too. So, and then episode 6, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, will be this Friday. So, I will be doing my reaction, of course, on Friday night. We'll be back on the dot with that, and I think that will conclude for Fly By Night as well. So, pretty excited for that to kind of see how that continues. Of course, like I said, definitely do check out Dan Reviews. Makes a lot of fun content. Of course, we do a lot of great collabs and stuff like that. We definitely got to do a big grind of War of the Worlds continuation with season 3. We'll definitely do a big grind for sure. I think this weekend, without a question, we'll try to do like 4 or 5 episodes, something like that, just to really kind of make up for the kind of lack, per se. And then after that, I plan on doing a pretty big Hedgehog Bros grind. So definitely do stay tuned. So lots of fire content. Like I said, I was shooting to get back on track this week. You know what I mean, in terms of the consistency. However, I've been kind of slacking a little bit on some of the content. You know what I mean, that I'm supposed to be continuing. So that will now be next week that I'm shooting to kind of get back into the consistency with. Obviously, the few shows like SpongeBob and Dexter. I'm back in the prime with on the days. It's just the other content that falls suits on those days. I also need to kind of swing back into the prime with, as well as Game of Thrones too. I've been lacking on that one too, so I apologize for that. Who knows? Maybe even this weekend I might kind of do a big grind to kind of make up for it. But yeah, so definitely do stay tuned. Lots of content on the way. Appreciate the new subscribers, by the way. I do appreciate it very much. We're crushing some new fire milestones. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get back into it. So yeah, share the channel around. That'd be awesome. Hope you guys are enjoying some of the fire shorts I uploaded, especially that funny one. As that is why I uploaded it, because this is funny, But yeah, so you might be seeing some different ones. Obviously, you're going to see some different box office updates for some different movies, for sure. So, yeah. So, without further ado, we got. Well, I'm not going to actually name all the titles. I'm just going to do one at a time because some of these are actually kind of lengthy. So these start to get a little bit more lengthy. We've got part 21 here. 14, just over 14 minutes, 14 and a half. 22, we do get a little bit less, 10 minutes, 10 minutes and a half. And then we kind of go back up to like 17 and change. For 23, 24, 19 and change. And then 25, we come back down to like 13, almost just under 14. and then 26 going just over 19 yet again. So, so yeah, definitely an interesting thing, for sure, without a question. So, without further ado, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So. Amusement for our amusement and our entertainment. Excuse me. Part 20. Beginning of season 3.
We see blood on the ground of the skate park as we see Rob standing over his dead daughter as Ragnar looks at him and says,
"Yeah, look at me. Do we have a partnership or not?"
Rob looks at Vale and the others, and he notices how terrified they look as he makes the choice and says,
"We're all yours."
Ragnar smiles as we see a big van shows up as the Skull Hunters take everyone and put them in the back of the van, as Ragnar says.
"We'll be in Wyoming by the end of the day."
As they all pull out, we see our group in the back of the van as Rob looks at everyone, covered in blood, and says,
"They were the predators, and now we're the fucking prey."
Damn. Shout out to Mega Man.
Days later, we see Ragnar driving a fancy car as he's driving over a bridge, as we then see him say,
"Ah, home at last."
He drives across the bridge as we see a huge village of people, as we see a huge casino building at the top of the hill, as we see this is Ragnar's home, Wyoming. He parks the car and steps out as he walks towards the casino resort, as he walks past a few guards, as he then gets into an elevator, as we see him go down to the underground parking garage. As the elevator door opens, we see everyone. Rob, Mara, Ryder, Vel, and Holly all sitting in the corner on a cold floor. As Rob stands up to Ragnar and says,
"It's been 10 days you've kept us locked up in here."
Ragnar says,
"Yes, and hopefully not one less. Rob, come with me."
Vel stands up and says, "How do we know you'll even come back with them in one piece?" Ragnar says,
"Well, that's simple, darling. Good behavior and loyalty. That'll go a long way for all of you."
He walks away with Rob as we see Rob and him in the elevator. As we then see Rob is looking at the 3 guards in the elevator with Ragnar. As we then see he's counting how many different soldiers he sees. as Ragnar says,
You won't look at me. And here I thought 10 days might have been effective for you to get with the program. But if that's not enough, then I'll have no other choice but to kill another one of them. This time, though, it'll be your choice.
Rob looks nervous and says,
No, I understand, boss.
Ragnar smiles and says,
Wow, you called me boss again. It feels like time never moved.
I know he's just doing it just to play the game.
we see Ryder in the garage with the others. As we see, he's trying to make a makeshift weapon out of wood. As Mara says, Stop. You're gonna get yourself killed. Ryder says, Well, at least I'm doing something. And as soon as they come in that front door again, I'm gonna make real quick work of them. As we then hear, a camera is moving, showing they're being watched. As Ryder then gets up looking pissed off and looks at the camera and says, Well, now that you see me, I might as well announce it to you. I'm your worst nightmare waiting to happen. Mara says, Stop. It's gonna go too far. Ryder laughs and says,
Look at us. I think it's done gone too far.
We see Ragnar takes Rob to a fancy room. As we see food laid out and classical music playing in the background. As Ragnar says,
This place will be yours for the time being, till you get adjusted for now.
Rob says, What about my friends?
What the hell is this place?
Ragnar says,
Wyoming was passed down to me by my father. You met him a time or two. The place had to go somewhere.
Rob says,
This is a casino and resort?
Ragnar says,
Sure is. Although we've expanded a lot since then. We're a thriving community now that's been growing ever since. You follow my lead tonight and you'll get to see it, old friend.
Rob says, What's tonight? Ragnar says,
Well, since you didn't try to kill me when we left, from there to now, I ordered my men to get your people all cleaned up and well dressed. We have a Christmas dinner tonight. Because like I always say, it's for our amusement and our enjoyment.
Rob says, Of course, we'll all be there. Ragnar walks out and says,
Call 8 at 6 o'clock. Don't be late. I want to see you and your people there.
Rob says, We will be there. Ragnar walks out. As he is left alone, as Rob then takes a pen and paper and writes down 4 in the garage, 3 in the elevator, 2 in the mall. As he puts the note under the carpet, as he then looks out the window to see a huge village with Christmas lights all around. As we see Wyoming. We see Rob walking the village of Wyoming, as we see Christmas lights and trees all around. We see Rob walking into the main building, as he sees Mara, Ryder, Vel, and Holly sitting at a big table, as we see an empty chair on the other end. As Rob sits down and asks them, Are you guys okay? Mara says, Yeah, we're fine. You? Rob says, Yeah, I'm fine. Ryder says, Well, they won't be. When I get my chance, I'm gonna. Mara says, Hey, we'll get away, but not like this, okay? Rob says, Shh, he's coming. We see Ragnar walking into the building, as he is seen whispering something to one of his men, as he walks up and sits at the end of the table, as we see Rob on the other end of the table, as he says, Hello, boss. Thank you for having us. Ragnar says,
Well, thank you. You are here so I can talk to you all about this wonderful place of ours called Wyoming.
Everyone looks on edge as he looks at Mara and says,
Hey, it ain't gonna stay warm for long.
He smiles at her, as they all look nervous to eat. Ragnar looks at Ryder and says,
I saw your plan. You were making some weapons in there, trying to raise a little prison army. Good on you for trying.
Ryder says, Yeah, it's temporarily on pause. It's gonna happen. Rob says, Ryder, stop. Ragnar says,
Well, that's why Rob here was famous, and why you look like you came out of a mental asylum.
Ryder then punches the table and says, You are not gonna tell me what to do. People are looking for me. They're gonna find me. And as a matter of fact, when they do, I will take care of you myself. Ragnar smiles and says,
Rob, It appears like our little conversation may have had a little bit of a misunderstanding. So why don't you tell your man here to back down before this turns into the dinner scene from Django Unchained? As Rob looks at Ryder and says, Ryder, you are out of line and you need to stop right now before they kill us all. Ryder says, alright, fine. So what do we have in here anyway? Got some more of Urban's finest? Let me ask, is it male or female here on my plate, Ragnar? Velhazer pipes in and says, you know, the man has a point. How do we know that this isn't some kind of fuckery here? How do we know that we're not digging into human meat? Ragnar then looks at them and says, you know, I'm sorry, was that a problem? And you know what, I'm personally offended. If you really think that I'm anything like that bottom feeder Urban, then think again. I only kept him around because he had the numbers. And that leads me to why you're all here tonight. And they're not. You all had the strength to take out Urban, and that's a start. However, I don't see the trust yet. However, Vale, if you don't want to eat, that's fine. I'll have my man here take it and put it in the fridge for you later. We can't be wasting food now. Besides, this ain't an all-you-can-eat deadhead buffet. Mara sees her chance to calm the situation down and starts fake laughing. She looks at the group and makes them follow along. As the group laughs together, as Ryder then says under his breath, that's a good one. You fucking cocksucker. Ragnar says, you will all be assigned homes, you will all be having jobs, and you will all serve Wyoming as Rob's people. And thanks to him, you're all here. Bon appetit. We see Rob walking to his room. As he then closes the door, as we see, he's taking off his jacket as he turns the light on. As he then sees Ragnar sitting on his couch with a gun in his hands, as he then says, well, hey, Rob. Sorry for barging in. Rob looks shocked and says, what are you doing here? Ragnar says, well, dinner went well. I hope nothing like that will ever go on in the future. Wouldn't want to ruin your image in front of your people now, wouldn't you? Rob says, it won't happen again. Ragnar cuts him off and pulls out the paper under the rug and says, oh, it won't now. Well, what do we have ourselves here? He reads, 4 soldiers in the garage, 3 soldiers in the elevator, 2 in the hall, 1 in the blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you understand all right. Very good work. However, our agreement is based on honesty. And this has clearly shown that I can't have this. So what's it gonna be, Rob? Because after tonight, I can at least think of a few of your people after acting out tonight that I could force you to kill in order for us to have an understanding. You wouldn't want more blood on your hands then, would you? Rob puts his head down in anger and says, no, sir. Ragnar says, well? We hear a growling sound from behind Rob. He turns around to then see Frost. As we then see, it's just staring him down. As he then looks on edge, as we then see, there's still some dried up blood in Frost's mouth. As Rob just closes his left fist, and Ragnar says, yeah, still didn't clean her properly after that night. She left quite the mess back there. That piss you off, Rob? As Rob then looks at him and realizes this is a test, as he then puts out his right hand and shakes Ragnar's hand and says, there will be no more lies. We are here, and we are present. We are the prey. Ragnar says, wonderful. Welcome aboard, Rob. Oh, and by the way, I left you a little something. You're gonna need it for next week. I think you're gonna like it. As he walks out, as Rob then stands there with his hands shaking, as he walks over to the couch and opens this box, as he then sees what's inside, as he then sees an electric guitar left in the box, as he says, you want a little show? I'll give you a show, motherfucker.
Damn, 10 out of 10. Give it a perfect 10. That's a way to start the season. Very intense. Concerning. You can definitely tell not fucking around. You got security cameras, you know what I mean? Try to hide the little things, but they got picked up on. It's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I liked every bit of it. It really just jumps right into it. You get a shit ton right off the bat. That's crazy. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Perfect rating for Mr. B's. Alrighty. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Let's get it. Part 22. Family and intergations. Part 22. What's up, Mr. Dean? Are you ready? Thank you. 10 days early.
10 days earlier, we see Alara sitting inside the trailer inside of the trailer park as she hears fighting going on outside. As she grabs her gun and walks out the door, we then see Mara and Ryder have been knocked out as we see the prey are just standing above them. As she pulls out her weapon, but then we hear someone comes up behind her and says, "Long time no see," as she gets knocked out.
What's good, LOL? Not too much. How about you? Shout out to Big Man. How you doing, Mr. Man? See the tens continue. I liked Ragnar, he was good. I liked Rob, he was good. Ryder was good.
A few hours later, we see her waking up in the woods. As we see some of these men are walking up to her, we see Mara and Ryder are now gone, and they are nowhere to be seen. The man walks up to her and says, "You're awake? Finally." Alara says, "Where's my son?" The soldier says, "Oh, he's at headquarters by now." Ragnar had quite the place for them. You, on the other hand, you're going somewhere else. Alara says, "Where are we going?" The man says, "Well, you have a wonderful place, not too far from here. Maybe, with you with us, they'll let us right into your beautiful Lincolnville." Alara says, "Well." She headbutts the man to the ground as he then falls into the snow. As he then gets up and says, "Oh, yep, that's her, gentlemen. That is definitely her. Alright, let's get moving." Out of nowhere, the men get shot down by a man with a gun as the blood splatters onto Alara's face. As we see Alara looks relieved and says, "Took you long enough, Hunter Pants." Hunter Pants helps her up and says, "Who are they?" Alara says, "A problem. A real problem. We better get back home. The clock is ticking. We're on a timer here. Our life depends on it."
Interesting.
We see them walking through the woods, as we then see the snow is starting to fall. and Alara says, "We gotta get back home. What the hell are you even doing out here?" Hunter says, "Been looking for you. You were gone longer than you said you'd be. I had a feeling something happened out there. Sure enough, I find you tied to a tree. Felt a little too damn familiar." Alara says, "I'm glad you're here." They hear something walking up behind them as she says, "Did you bring more company?" We then see 4 more skull hunters behind them with weapons. As they then see them from far, and Alara says, "Run." They then run as fast as they can as we see a house from far. As Alara says, "Come on, there. We can pin them in that way." Hunter says, "Smart thinking." As they then go inside the house, as we see them make it inside, as they push the couch up to the door and tie it shut, as we then hear these men banging on the door, as Hunter says, "We gotta either find a way out or find a way through these fuckers." We see these men with their weapons out at the door, as we then hear a growling sound behind them. We see a big black dog jumps one of them and starts ripping them apart. Hunter looks worried and says, "No." He opens the front door and shoots 2 of them with his handmade gun. Alara then stabs the other one in the belly and kicks him down, as Hunter then stabs the last one in the head. As we see him look at his dog and says, "Hey boy, are you okay? Hey, I told you to stay in the buggy." The dog barks and Hunter says, "Well, anyway, I'm glad you're here, boy." Oh shit. As they see, the guy Alara stabbed is still alive. Hunter says, "Yeah, let's put this wild animal down." Alara stops him and says, "Not before he answers my questions. We're getting my son back." We see the skull hunter tied to a tree, as we see Alara and Hunter sitting on a log towards him. As we see Alara sharpening her knives as she says, "Well, it's been a while since I've done this. However you fuck with my family, you're fucking with me." The man says, "Oh, is that right? Hey lady, aren't you a little old to torture someone?" She stabs him in the leg as he screams. Alara gets up in his face and says, "That hurt, huh? Let's put it like this. You're gonna feel it every time, until eventually there'll be so many holes in your leg, you're gonna beg me just to rip it off." The man says, "I'm not telling you a damn." She stabs him again and again, and she says, "Now you hear me? I'm looking for my son, and he and some of the people I know were taken last night, and I'm getting them back. And you're gonna show me how I'm gonna do just that." The man laughs and says, "The only safe place is Wyoming, and yes, your son is with us. But only if he cooperates, he'll be alive. Look, you got a lot of fire left in you, and I can tell. But I don't have control of what happens, alright? We have separate places that we run in the general area, alright? And Lincolnville will fall under those locations. Soon enough." Alara says, "Alright." She pulls out a map and says, "Then you're going to show me every location on this map that you people have." The man says, "Do you think I'm showing you?" She cuts off 2 of his fingers as he screams out and she says, "Show me, or I take another." He looks like he's in pain as Alara says, "Show me." I can do this all day here. Hunter's just standing there with his dog as Alara goes to cut another one of his fingers as he says, Okay, please don't do any more, okay? I'll tell you, please. I have a family. I have a wife. I have 3 kids. And they can't live without me, please. I'll show you, okay?" Alara backs off and says, "Okay, then you understand that I can't live without my son. So, you're going to show us every spot on this map where you people operate." We see Hunter circling several different places in the area, and Alara says, "Are those all?" The man says, "That's everything." Alara looks at Hunter and she says, "Okay." The man says, "So, can you let me go?" Or she stabs him in the neck as blood gushes out as she says, "Alright, we know where to look." Hunter looks a bit put off and says, "Hey, Alara, what the hell was that?" He had a family," Alara says, "and a man like that would say anything. And even if he did, they're better off without a monster like him." Hunter says, "What if this family is real? I mean, what do we do knowing that they're without their parent?" Alara looks at him and says, "Because it's not ours." As she just walks back into the house. We see Hunter and Alara walking through the house as Alara says, "We'll stay here tonight, head back by morning." Hunter says, "Alright, I'll keep first watch." Alara goes upstairs and checks the rooms, as we then see a bloody bathtub with another dead skull hunter on the floor. As we see, it's the same house Jade was hiding in before. As we see, Alara goes downstairs and says, "It's clear. We'll be fine here tonight."
Interesting. Next day.
The next day, we see Alara Hunter and his dog are walking the
God damn it,
roads.
Dan.
As we see tire marks in the mud, as we see two dead horses as they run up to this, and Hunter says, "They took our buggy. They killed our horses. Damn it." Alara says, "These people are poking the wrong bear. Come on, let's get back. We gotta figure out how we're gonna deal with this." Later that day,
I'm
we
not
see the
saying it
sun
anymore.
going down, and as we see them walking through the woods, as we then see a big village in the distance on a hill, as they stand in front of it from far, as Hunter asks Alara, "You think they'll be ready to deal with something like this?" Damn it. Old man's gonna be pissed. Alara says, "No. But we're gonna do it anyway."
Oh, wow. What a way to end it. Damn. Alright. Alright. 9 out of 10. It was good. Another pop. That Fanta didn't do me much good. Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. That's pretty good. Damn you on freaking saying the later that day or flash, You're so inconsistent on saying it in the main series. But here you've been saying it every time. So I'm not gonna say it anymore. But you better keep saying it. Otherwise I'll be like, "Damn it, Dan." Now you better stay consistent. Going forward. Yeah, W's. For sure. Noted. Yeah, you better take that as noted. And like inconsistentness. Gotta get him out here. Give me a second. Oh, tomorrow night's weather is not going to be wonderful from what I'm getting. Yeah, definitely not. 3 to 5 inches. What the hell? More than 5. Oh my goodness. Honestly, insanity. Launching a potential winter storm. 1 to 3 inches of snow Damn, even Sunday. Jesus. What the hell? Oh, we're gonna get back up to 50 after that. But even so, we're still getting this crap. Even what the? Make up its damn mind. Craziness. Whoop. Craziness. Oh, well, okay, it won't be too bad. Then I'm gonna way back on this. Crazy weather, I tell you. More snow, damn. Yeah, it's trying to come back because, you know, over a nice warm weather. We pissed it off, you know what I mean? So now it's trying to hit us hard. Though I like the numbers more than what they were. Especially Sunday night in particular. Now it's just half an inch of rain or whatever. Which, I mean, I'd rather take that than what it was before. What it was before was we're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches of snow. But now it all moved to Saturday night. And now it's saying 1 to 3. And during the day Sunday, 1 to 3. And it's accumulating, you know what I mean? But it's gonna keep melting though. That's the thing. You know, it might stick for a bit, but it's gonna keep melting because it's just too warm. So, regardless if we get a bit or no, but it'll melt anyway. So whatever. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for part 21, 9 out of 10 for part 22. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's get it. Leave a like as always. The innocence and the unfortunate. Ooh, 18 and up. Ooh, what's the name? Oh, I'm well over that, Mr. Dan.
10 days later,
Okay.
we see Val
You're
waking
staying
up to see a
consistent.
blizzard outside her window, as she then says, "Oof, glad I'm not in Toronto anymore." As we see her walking around the casino, as we see her walk outside, as we see all of the snowfall, as we see a soldier walk up to her and they say, "Val Hazer, correct?" Val says, depends on who's asking there, floppy tits. Are you a little bitch boy who cowers in fear? Or did you just pull on Rygar's dick enough to where he actually believes you're loyal? The man doesn't answer the question, but he does say, "I'm just here to inform you that Ragnar wants to see you for the day." Val says, "Ooh, an adventure." Well, that seems way more up my alley than these gambling fucktards at their fucking machines acting like this place is fucking normal. The soldier says, "Please, come with me." As Val says, bottom feeder it is.
Good Val episode. Fire. Mr. Nan. I'll be caught up. Shout out to Mega Man. You're getting close. Yes, sir.
We see the sun setting as we see the prey walking through the woods with lit up torches. As we see Vel and Ragnar getting into a boat with some of the others. As Vel says, "Where in the flipping fucking fuck are we going?" Ragnar says, "You know." She gets in the boat and he says, "Alright. I didn't want to ruin the surprise, but I see that you're one step ahead of me, Vel, so that needs to change." He gives her a gun and says, "Here, hang on to this for me. You're gonna need it." Vel holds onto the gun in her hand and says, "How do you know I'm not just gonna shoot you when I get the chance?" Ragnar says, "Well, because I've been told you're one of the smarter ones. Wouldn't really be the work of one of those, now would it? You'll need to hang on to that for me. Like I said, you're gonna need it." We see a few men at the castle as we hear one of them says, "Tugo, you see that?" Tugo looks out to see several boats approaching. Tugo looks worried and says, "Sound the alarm. Get people to the wall and ready." Tugo and a few other men are there standing there ready, but then he sees Vel in the boat as he looks happy, but then he sees Ragnar pushing her forward and says, "Jeez, what do you know? I gotta listen to Mrs. West boss me around 24/7, and now I gotta listen to this fucking asshole all night. Well, ain't that a damn shock?" Ragnar is walking up to the castle with his men. As we see, there's a few on top that says, "Vel, what the hell is this?" Vel says, "Let them in, guys. That's an order. Come on. Besides, it's better that we bring them in all with us. That's exactly where we want you all. You deranged fucks." Tugo and his men walk out to see them. As they walk up to Ragnar and Vel, and Tugo says, "Well, geez, boys, I thought Halloween just passed. Where in God's name have you been, Vel?" Vel says, "It's a long story, but these assholes here, they killed Dawson, and Rob and the rest of our friends are held captive." Tugo looks at Ragnar and says, "Well, what makes you think our door is open?" Ragnar says, "Well, you stepped out, didn't you? That's step one. Step two is a lot more complicated than step one. We're coming in to have a discussion. That's not a problem now, is it?" He holds a knife to the back of Vel's neck and says, "Thank you. Excuse me." As he shoves Tugo a bit and walks in with his men. We see all the residents and the families walk out as they all look terrified. As we see Ragnar and the prey standing in front of the civilians, as Ragnar whispers to Vel, "Don't be shy. Talk to your people. Get them to feel safe. The looks on their faces is just killing me." Vel says to her people, "Anything they say, you don't listen. These people are a thorn in our sides, nothing more. Look, I failed Dawson, and I will fucking fix that. But Rob's crew and the others are still alive. Don't you worry. I will fix that. And I will fucking fix all that fucking shit that's stuck up these fucking fuckers' fucking asses. And I might be gone for a while, but I'm doing what I need to do to save the West family." Ragnar says, "Alright, that's enough. Now, I didn't tell you to preach war. But see, Vel, that's exactly why I took you on this little trip to begin with. Everyone else is doing their part, following the rules. Hell, even Rob, believe it or not. Ha! Despite our very rocky history, he knew when to stop. But you don't. The reason why my place has stayed the way it has for as long as it has is trust and honor. You don't seem to have any of those things." We then see her hand on the gun, as he then says, "I see your finger reaching for that piece on you, and yes, very good idea. Vel, I want you to take that gun. Shoot one of your people right now. Your pick." Vel says, "Yeah, fuck that. That's not gonna happen." Ragnar says, "Oh, that's right. Damn, how rude of me. Can you please choose who you kill? Vel says, my pick? Ragnar says, I see I have confused you. Let me put it in simpler terms. He gets up in her face and says, do it, darling. Pick. Or I will pick them all. Then I'll go back to Wyoming, pick off all your wonderful friends in there too, and I'll give orders for Athena to kill them. And she will. Vel is starting to look a little nervous, and she says, no. Ragnar says, no? You see that? That is not good enough for me, Vel. Just something about it doesn't work. We see how scared her people all look as she's looking at some of the young kids that look terrified. As Tugo then steps out and says, take me there, Ragtard. You will not regret it. Trust me. Vel says, no, Tugo, stand down. I'm not killing you. Ragnar says, you're right. You're not. But you're killing someone. And I don't remember asking for volunteers. So stand down there, tough guy. Vel is starting to look worried and says, Ragnar, please. Please, okay, I don't want to fucking... Please. You've already made me fail my people once. Please don't make me do that again. Maybe there's something we can do, okay? My people, we're very resourceful. I'm sure we can help work something out, okay? Ragnar says, you can talk the big talk, but you can't walk the walk. So, you better kill someone, and you better kill someone now, or I will fucking kill you all. Vel says, please, please. Tugo says, just kill me. Ragnar says, in a minute I will if she doesn't decide. Tugo says, just kill, please just kill me. I've done enough bad things to deserve this anyway. Ragnar says, very nice story, Vel. But we're running out of time, I'm afraid. 10 seconds on the clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Vel has a tear running down her face as she looks at her scared people and says, I did this for you. She points the gun towards one of Ragnar's people, but as one of her men gets up in front of the crowd and jumps in front of the bullet, as Vel accidentally shoots the man, and the man goes down for the group. As Vel looks horrified and says, no, that wasn't supposed to... Ragnar claps and says, atta girl, you did it. We'll work on your aim later. He takes the gun from her hands and says, you did well today, but I'm afraid we're not done. There is something else that I do want from you. Vel looks angry and says, what do you want? Ragnar says, later. I want to see more of you, Velhazer. As our characters are just looking around awkwardly, as Ragnar starts walking away, and Tugo says, this ain't over, Ragtard. I'm gonna kill you all. Ragnar says, shut him up, why don't you? Me and Vel has some personal business to get to. As 3 men knock down Tugo and start repeatedly kicking him multiple times, as Vel just has to watch this, as Ragnar lights a smoke and says, it's a beautiful place. I will definitely be coming around here more often. Come on, Vel. We got some things to work out.
Wow. That was intense.
Back at Wyoming, we see Vel crying in her room as she hears a knock at her door, and she says, who in the flipping flipper wants to see me now? The Skull Hunter comes in and says, Vel, you were asked to go see Ragnar. Vel says, yeah, and what the hell do I have to do for him this time, huh? Do I have to suck him off or something? The man says, God, no. What kind of man do you take him for? He just wants to have a little chat. Vel says, I'm done with chats after what he made me do. Now, if you don't mind, I'll talk to him in the morning, okay? He keeps her from closing the door and steps in the way and says, not gonna work this time, Missy. He wants to see you and he wants to see you now. Oh, and he gives her a dress and says, he said to wear this. As we see Vel looks pissed.
Damn.
We see her walking up to him in heels. as Vel says, "Is this what you wanted?" Ragnar says, "Whoa. That's a bit tighter than I thought, but in a few minutes that won't matter anyway. You did good today, Vel, and good people deserve rewards." Vel says, "I'm out of here." Ragnar says, "Wait now. I didn't say it was an option. But I'll sweeten the deal here a little bit. You do what I want you to do right now, and you and your friends will get a promotion to a higher standards to this place." Vel says, "Oh, what? Are you gonna make me lose with this thing on? And do things that I don't want to? Yeah, that's a real leader like of you." Ragnar says, not exactly. But you could say I'll be leading the way in this one." As he says, "Go on. One piece at a time. Don't be afraid. No one's watching here. Isn't that right, Tim?" Tim says, "No, no one's watching or judging here, sir." Ragnar smiles and says, "See?" Vel says, "Fuck you." Ragnar says, "Oh, we're getting closer." Vel says, "Please don't, please." Ragnar says, "Please, girl. Those are some of my favorites back in the day. Now, I can't promise I'm as fast as I was back then. I'm a little worn out and slow, but slow can be good." As he unzips his pants, as he says, "Go on. I started, you follow." As she starts taking her clothes off, as she just sits on the bed and says, "Have at it." As we see Vel has no other choice but to start fucking Ragnar. As he says, "Very good.
Wow.
Very good for one of the young ones." As we see once again a tear going down her face.
Damn. You're dark, Dan. Fuck.
Later on, we see after it's over,
Jesus.
Vel sitting in the corner of the room, shaking, as Ragnar says, "That was fun. Round 2 next week, same time. Now what did I tell you to say to me?" Vel says, "Thank you, Daddy." Ragnar says, "Now,
What the
here's how
hell?
it's gonna be from now on. No back talking me at
Oh,
the table.
God.
You don't question me. You don't talk back to me. And you will do exactly as I say. And if you feel the need to run to Rob, then hell, tell him. Tell him everything you can. It's not like you'd be able to do anything about it anyway. You are mine. You and your people. You're just toys for my amusement, lady."
Damn.
He leaves her be as she just still sits there. As she sees a bit of blood dried up on her finger from the man she killed, and she says, "Sensei, please, help me, Sensei, help me." She looks out the window as now she sees the snow has stopped. We see Rob playing his guitar in his room. He hears a knock at the door and says, "Come in." Vel walks in looking a little bit nervous still, and he says, "Hey, haven't seen you around for a few days. You alright?" Vel says, "I'm fine. Just people in here being people. It is what it is, I guess." Rob says, "It is what it is." Dang. Since when were you a "it is what it is" type of woman? Vel says, "Never. But I'm swallowing my pride, I guess." Rob says, "No jokes? No remarks? Nothing? Jeez. I guess I'm not the only one feeling the weight of this place. Hey, look. You can tell me if anything's wrong, kid, alright? I get it, you know. I know exactly what it's like working for a dipshit like this. Christ, I did work for a dipshit like this." Vel says, "I'm fine." Rob says, "Alright. But if you're not, it's alright. I get losing isn't your style. So, if there's anything you want to talk to me about, you can say it." She looks scared and confused, and she looks like she wants to say something, but she just looks at him with a small smile and says, "There's nothing." Rob says, "Alright. Well, my day was boring as hell. How was yours?" Vel just lays back and looks at him and says, Honestly, same thing." As we then see a slightly scared look in her eyes.
Wow. Damn. Huh. Damn. That shit was crazy. Jesus Christ. Wow. Blew me away with that episode. God damn. Blew me away with that one. Wow. I mean, I couldn't help but laugh at some of the parts because some of the parts were funny, you know. But at the same time, I felt bad for her, surely, because it was like I can't imagine, you know. I can't imagine doing that. That's just insane. Truly, it's just insane. Wow. Damn. Wow. Well, you blew me away with that one. 10 out of 10. Give it a perfect rating. Can't give it anything lower. That was, that got extreme. For sure. But Redner is breaking her. Vel's got her own language. This is a screwed up situation. It's a bastard. Yeah, 100%. 18 plus for a reason. Some of it is fun. Some of it is fucked up. Yeah. That was a fun character. So we gave her the darkest plot. Damn. That'll be a rating. Thank you. Yeah. That's for certain. That is for certain. That is for certain. Wow. Alrighty. Yeah, 10 out of 10. So far, 2 10s and a 9. Not bad. Not bad. It's pretty solid so far. Alrighty. Yeah. Crazy what she had to do. Crazy what he did to break her. Truly, truly insane. Yeah. And she couldn't even say what really happened, even to Rob, which is insane. That's crazy. Damn. 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 Let's continue. Part 24. One mistake and one victory. Obviously, I'm leaving a link on all these for Mr. D. Freaked out and she knew it. Yeah, that is true. She knew it. That is true. You're probably right on that one.
60 miles out of Wyoming, we see Ryder and Mara being transported with a few other prisoners to somewhere, as Ryder says to the driver, "So what does Ragnar have us doing today?" The man says, "You're being transported to one of our facilities." Mara says, "One of." The man says, "It's a factory. You're both going to be pulling your weight." You see, Rob impressed the big man, but it doesn't mean that we trust you all yet. Ryder says, "Oh, well, I'm sure you're feeling real big and giddy now. I mean, you're sitting in the driver's seat thinking you're leading the way. Thing is, you're trapped with the outlaws, motherfucker."
Despite it being a little bit longer, it's still cruising very quickly. It's crazy. Shout out to Big Man.
We see them pulling into an old factory as we see a bunch of workers there outside clearing the deadheads on the fence. As skull hunters push them forward and they say, "Move, both of you." The enforcer's waiting. We see them take Ryder and Mara into a room guarded by men. As they sit them down and the enforcer walks in and says, "Prisoner 485 and 486. You're both here because Ragnar is giving you the option to the path of success. You will be kept here until he sees fit. Ryder and Mara, you will be tasked to clear the crowd of the deadheads and you will fix the place up. We are looking to turn this place into an outpost for more new members of the Prey. You will help us make this place what it is." Mara says, "Thank you for giving us a second chance." Ryder says,
Oh, wow. That's it, huh? Shit, after everything we've been through.
The enforcer says, "Be happy you're alive at all. Ragnar saw potential in you. But in here, it's up to me." Ryder says, "Fuck you." The enforcer says, "Be careful of your tone. Talking back is why you're here in the first place." As he points towards Mara. He walks away as Mara says, "Keep your shit under control. We'll find our moment by being smart and by giving it time." Ryder says, "Time? Time is the one thing we don't have."
He's being stupid.
We see Ryder and Mara being escorted to a small room with two small sleeping bags on the floor. As we see them get locked in, as the Skull Hunter says, "Welcome to the shit end of the stick. You'll start tomorrow." Ryder and Mara are sitting in this dark room as he says, "Start tomorrow." What kind of fucking asshole is this anyway? Mara says, "Hey, we are at our most vulnerable spot right now. We gotta keep our heads down. Just embrace this shit for a little while longer. They need to believe that we're following their ways. Because if not, I don't think we're leaving this place." Ryder says, "No. We kill them all. We find a way to take this place down from the inside. And we do it for the others. We do it for my mother. We need to do it in her honor." Mara says, "In her honor?" Ryder looks like he's holding back, and Mara says, "Ryder, I've been asking you for weeks what happened that night when you were taken, and you haven't been the same since. Tell me what happened." Ryder is shaking a little bit and says, "I killed her." Mara says, "What?" Ryder says, "The men were there. I heard something going on outside, and when I went down there to help you, they knocked me out. And I told her to stay put, and now, here we are. And she was nowhere to be seen." Mara says, "Look, you don't know that, alright? I mean, maybe they took her somewhere else." Ryder says, "Then why wasn't she at the skate park that night? Maybe if I just did things differently, didn't act out like I always do, tried protecting her more, maybe she'd still be here." Mara holds his hand and says, "Hey, you are not at fault for this. And she wouldn't want you to think that way. These people, they're gonna get what they deserve in time. They will, okay? I promise." They hug as Ryder starts breaking down and says, "How could I do this? How could I do this?" The next day, we see the cell door opens as the guard says, "Rise and shine." They take them both out of the cell. As we see them get walked outside, as they both get handed a small knife, as Ryder says, "Really? We clear the deadheads with one little knife." The Skull Hunter says, "That's your warm-up. Later you'll be tested." Mara says, "What kind of test?" The guy says, "If you're strong enough for Ragnar to give you a second chance, like you probably would claim you would, get to work." The guy walks away and Ryder says, This ain't gonna go his way. Mara says, well, for now it is. Let's just get through this. As we then see them killing deadhead after deadhead, as we see the skull hunters are just watching them from the other side of the fence. As we see Mara notices Ryder is just letting out all of his anger. As we can see, he feels the guilt of getting put in this place.
Damn. Freaking turned on the cycle.
Later on, we see Mara and Ryder looking very rough as they are sitting in the cafeteria with some of the other workers. As Mara and Ryder don't sit with any of the other prisoners, they go to a separate table by themselves. As they sit down, but as they're sitting down, the enforcer walks up to them with two men. And the enforcer just takes Ryder's tray of food and he throws it on the floor. Everyone in the cafeteria is looking at them as they put a plate of dog food in front of Ryder as he says, "Eat." Ryder says, "Are you fucking serious?" The enforcer says, "Son, ain't nothing about this isn't serious. You're damn right I'm fucking serious." Ryder then looks at the enforcer and says, "I should have killed you after what you did to our family." The enforcer says, Yeah, you probably should have. But you missed your opportunity, just like this one. Ryder says, "And if I don't eat this?" The enforcer says, "Well, let's put it in the simpler terms. You will eat every bit of this until you tasted every bite of it. Or we will start by killing this lovely angel right in front of you across the table. Then we'll proceed to kill everyone back in Wyoming, everyone that you know that's back there. And let me make sure I specified this, son. It takes one call. And if Ragnar hears that you didn't follow my instructions here today, it's over for everyone else you know. So, are you hungry?" Ryder looks pissed, as he really looks disgusted and says, "I will." The enforcer says, "You won't be doing anything else if you don't eat." Ryder then hesitates, but then he starts downing the dog food as Mara watches him eat it. As the enforcer then says, "That a boy!" Ryder then finishes the plate as the enforcer says, "Now, was that so bad?" Ryder said, "Well, how about you have a fucking bite?" He then throws up on the floor as the prey laugh at him, as Mara looks angry, and the enforcer says, all right, point made. John, get over here, clean this up, why don't you?" Ryder says, "What the hell happened to you, man? Hell, you used to be cool, man." The enforcer says, "Well, I'm a damn mystery to me." As they walk away from Mara and Ryder, as Ryder says, "I did that for you."
Shit.
Later that day, we see Ryder and Mara sitting in the cell, as Mara says, Are you okay?" Ryder says, "Aces. You?" Mara says, "Hey, we just need to swallow our pride for a little bit longer. We made progress today. And you followed their orders." Ryder says, "Yeah, and I swallowed my dog food too. Is that swallowing my pride?" Mara says, "Just stop. I've got something I want to tell you." Ryder says, "What the hell is it? More bad news? Does more shit come up for us? Living hell that this place is in general? What the hell do we have going on now?" Mara says, "Not now." Ryder says, "Why the hell not?" Mara says, "Because this place is tearing apart who you are. And when we get away, we'll talk about it then." Ryder says, "Well, how the hell are we gonna..." We then hear someone walking up to the door as they unlock the door and let them out. As Ryder says, what the hell do you people want next? Is it fucking cat food next, motherfucker? Or should I just kill you right now, you stupid?" The skull hunter says, "Shh. Keep your voice down. We're getting out of here." Mara says, "What the... Hunter? Is that you?" He says, "Your mother and I are here, and we're getting you both out of here now. Come on." As they all quietly start walking through the halls, trying to find an exit, Ryder then whispers, "Where's my mother? Is she okay? Is she mad at me? Christ, tell me she's alright." Hunter says, "She's fine. We came all this way to save you. Her orders." Mara says, "How the hell did you get the keys to the cell?" Hunter says, I got it off of an idiot at the door. Little skinny twat. Fucking dumb fuck he was. Out of nowhere, a bullet hits the wall next to them. As they start getting shot at,
Oh,
Hunter
shit.
then gives Mara a gun as she fires back. Hunter looks at Ryder and says, sorry buddy, only got one left. As they are firing back, he shoots two of the guys as Hunter says, this way! They run through the halls as we see the exit from down the hall. Mara fires the gun back to some of the other soldiers firing at them. As we see all three of them run outside to escape. We see them running through the outside of the factory trying to get out as we see vans lined up in the back. As we see two snipers on the rooftop
Oh,
start
shit.
firing down at them from the top. As they then take fire, as they then fire back, as Mara fires a few shots and says, I'm out. Hunter says, me too. He sees more men are coming and looks at the fence in the background and says, everyone get in. I'm gonna do some Duke boy shit. They get in as we see Hunter behind the wheel as he says, let's go. We see Skull Hunters in front as they are firing towards the van. As he drives through and runs them over while they are still firing at them. Hunter then turns and rams through the fence as they break out of the factory. As we then see more Skull Hunters see them leaving as a few start running after them.
Ah! Oh, shit.
We see they drive for a bit, and then they pull over. As we see them get out, as we see it's foggy out, as we see the sun coming up, as Hunter says, okay, we're out, but we gotta get you both back. There's probably more coming to the... We see 4 Skull Hunters come out of the woods, as Ryder, Mara, and Hunter all look pissed. As we see the Skull Hunter says, well, little piggies, what are you both doing outside the pit? You're going back. Yo, the Enforcer's gonna get a kick out of this one. But as we see, they all get blown up. As Ryder and the others get down, they all look up to then see Alara walks up to them and says, they walked right into that one now, didn't they? Thanks for getting them back, Hunter. Ryder runs and hugs his mother and says, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Alara says, for what? Did you kill someone you weren't supposed to again? Ryder says, no, nothing like that. I just thought they killed you that night. I thought I failed you. Alara chuckles and says, honey, I've come to realize that the only thing in this world that can kill me is me. Hunter says, we better go. More are gonna be coming. Alara says, wow, where'd you get the van? Hunter says, took it on our way up. Come on, get in.
Damn, what a savage. She's a
Later
savage.
that day, we see Hunter and Mara riding in the front, and Ryder and Alara in the back, as Ryder says. We telling the others back home about what's going on? Alara says, they already know. Everyone's worried about you too. So hopefully that'll keep their spirits up when you're back. Ryder says, how's Jamie? Is he okay? Hunter says, he's fine. Little buddy is doing great. It feels like he's gotten taller lately. Ryder says, yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Alara asks, so what did they do to you back there? Mara just looks at Ryder and he says, to us? Nothing but tell us exactly what we need to know to use against them. Back in Lincolnville, we see Ryder sitting in his house looking sad as he gets a knock at the door. And he opens the door. As we see an older man standing at the door with a case of beer in his hand, as he says, you're still alive, you crazy fucker. Ryder smiles and says, hey, fuck you, prick. How you doing, man? He hugs the guy, and the guy says, well, how the hell are you? Ryder says, I've been better. The guy says, well, I got your favorite from the bar. We see them sitting on the porch drinking beers, and Ryder says, yeah, it was rough. The man says, but Rob and the rest, they okay? Ryder says, yeah, they're okay. He just sits there and says, hey, can I ask you something? The man says, shoot. How can men like us be alive after all the unspeakable things that we do and just get a slap on the wrist? I mean, men can get out of the Magic Kingdom no matter what they've done, as long as they say the magic words. The man says, well, I got to believe we could be forgiven. And you and me, we've done things that we'd love to take back. And see, the only question is, are we willing to do those same things that you saw happen all those years ago? Roger says, yeah, but I made one big fucking mistake. And I didn't mean it, they meant it. That's my calling. To get people killed. All life, when they meet me, just disappears. And that's the reality. Later on, we see Ryder loading one of his guns up, as he hears a knock at his door. As he says, go away. Whatever you want, it can wait till tomorrow. We hear Mara's voice outside the door saying, yeah, this is kind of one of those I need to talk to you now, not later type of situations. Ryder says, well, what the hell's so damn important this time of night? He opens up the door and she says, can I come in? Ryder says, yeah. They sit down and he says, you want a drink or something? Mara says, I can't. That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. I tried telling you earlier, but remember when we were goofing around a few weeks back? Ryder says, what? Are you? Mara says, I'm pregnant. Ryder says, you are? Mara says, look, I know this isn't what you wanted to hear. Ryder stops her and says, what? Are you kidding me? We're gonna have a baby? I'm gonna be a father. He picks her up and says, we're gonna be parents. Mara says, what? You're not mad? Ryder says, oh, hell no, I'm not mad. This is amazing. He hugs her and says, and now I get to be there. I get to be there for another life.
Oh, okay. Ooh, stop there other time. Wow. Another 10. 10 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. Had a lot of ups and downs, had a lot of crazy situations, intense moments. Action was fire. They actually were able to escape, which is pretty insane. The dog food thing was. Oh my god, that shit was. He's such a joy. He's such an entertaining character. I tell you what, he's such a. Oh, he's not afraid to say what he feels, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny as fuck. Oh Jesus. But I respect him too at the same time, to a degree. Yeah. Obviously, I do think there's times where he's an idiot, but he still makes it entertaining nonetheless. Still makes it entertaining. It's crazy. Raisins. Raisins. Let's see. Apologize for shit. LOL dog food W. Some of our group is out now. Hopefully, an advantage. They're gonna be parents. Yeah, that was great. I like most a happy ending. Yeah, which is very interesting. Very interesting. For sure. Very interesting. Oh, man. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Wow. Let's see. 3 10s on a 9. Very solid. Very damn solid, I want to say. Huh. Wow. Damn. Wouldn't expect such greatness to continue. I don't know. You're impressive, Mr. Dan. You're not anything like Mr. Gimple, where his ratings do this wavy effect. Up and down, up and down, up and down. They're actually consistent. Which is W's, 100%. I wish Kimball could do that. Oh, he could back in the day, but he lost his vibe. That's what he did. He lost his vibe. His vibe went away, and now he's wishy-washy all over the place. Wishy-washy. Season 3 is going well for you. Fire. Hippo. So how do you do? Yeah. Definitely need to do another Walking Dead stream discussion. And my thoughts going forward for sure. You know what I mean? Obviously it'd be great to have the Mr. Dan on the discussion stream, you know what I mean? I know he's weirdly like right? Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I'm totally right. I'm down for it. Hell yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Been a hot minute. For sure. Damn, very good. Shit. Continuation. Let's get it. Shimmy. Maybe like those. Rita and Dex. Is this supposed to be a reference to Dexter and Rita? Not gonna say it.
We open
God
with the
damn
sound of a crowd cheering as we hear a muffled voice saying,
Back in Wyoming.
Athena. Hey, Athena. Athena snaps out of it as the Skull Hunter says, Rita and Dex have been located. Athena says, show me.
Let me down. Very interesting though. Here we go. New character. You let me down. You said you're supposed to stay consistent. You are consistent. You're supposed to say back in Wyoming. You didn't say that. Damn it.
Outside the walls of Wyoming,
Oh,
we
nice.
see Athena driving a big bus with a few other men with her. As we then see up the road, these two people running down the road. As Athena sees them, as one of the soldiers says, we should bring him back, let Ragnar handle this. Athena says, no need. She speeds up and he says, Athena! She then runs them both over with the bus. As she
Damn.
stops the bus, and they are both on the ground in pain. As Athena walks up to them and she says, you're fighting for air. Fighting for your life. I can tell. Now you really think you can leave unannounced and steal from Ragnar? Why? Dex says, me and my sister were brought in by Jack. And now he's dead. Killed brutally by that psycho bitch leader of the West family. And Ragnar has some of them just fucking living with us. And expects us to live among them after they kill our people? We're not going back. Athena says, well, lucky for you, you won't have to come back. And me breaking your back like this is for the guy that took you in, who gave you a warm bed to sleep in, food, shelter, and this is how you repay us? You know what, I'll let you live. If you just say those two magical words. Dex says, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, don't twist the knife. As she then stabs him in the neck and says, apology unaccepted. As she proceeds to literally twist the knife, she then tells her men, nah, I call dibs. She shoots Rita in the head and ends her life as well. As she then says, get them loaded up. Ragnar's gonna want to see their faces. They get in and start heading back, as it then starts snowing. As she looks out at the snow falling down, as she looks happy and says, ah, so beautiful.
Crazy woman.
Back in Wyoming, we see Athena returning home with blood on the side of the bus. As we see a crowd of people in the streets with signs, as Athena says, get out of my fucking way. What the hell is going on here? One of the men says, I don't know. Pull into Ragnar's. Let's check on the boss. Ragnar is standing on the balcony with his arms crossed, as he then sees down below a crowd of people in the streets saying, we want justice! Ragnar says, I'm disappointed, Enforcer. He turns around to the Enforcer and says, do you have any idea how two people as strong as Ryder and Mara proved to be could just get out like that? Unless, of course, someone wasn't doing their job. Someone like that in charge of one of my settlements. Well, I may have just made a mistake now. Yeah, I think I made a mistake. Do you think I made a mistake? Enforcer says, no. The snakes are following my orders. But they saw their opportunity and they left. And I will find them. Ragnar pats him on the head and says, I know you will. Because you have to. When you find them, I want you to kill Mara for me. Make Ryder cry. We'll make him stronger that way. I got a feeling about that one. Oh, and Rexer will be taking your duties at the factory. You're coming back to work here in Wyoming. The Enforcer says, yes. Yes, sir. We see Rob walking through the crowd of people in the streets. As we then see, he gets knocked down to the ground by one of them. As he then sees them just cheering, we want justice! Bring the West family to justice! Rob enters the building and sees a bunch of skull hunters inside. As Ragnar walks out and says, did you get a good look out there? Jeez. Jack gets killed, one of Wyoming's best surgeons, and now I got friends and family demanding that I bring them the widow's head. Rob asks, how did he die? Ragnar says, well, why do you care? Rob says, because it's my friends they want. I'd like to think that I'm just as involved in this as you are. Ragnar says, well, you really have put your big boy pants on today, Rob. I'll tell you how we found him. Apparently Jack was tied to a tree. By the looks of it, he was stabbed multiple times and was brutally executed by one of your people. Now, do you happen to know someone that's capable of doing an act like that? Rob says, plenty, actually. You really think just because you got us in here, others won't rebel? Because Ragnar, that's exactly what you have here. A rebellion. Only question is, how will you handle it? Because the way I see it, if you don't do something soon, you can kiss this place goodbye. That's the problem with a place like this. You let it be peaceful for so long, eventually, that peace goes away. The whole damn thing does after. Ragnar says, well, just like old times again, huh, Rob?
People demanding to see us because they aren't happy with something, and we have to do this under protection. Court blows over. Rob looks pissed and says, well, difference is here. I ain't the head they want. We see Val Hazer walks in and Rob says, oh, please, Val, just don't say anything else to jeopardize our position here. It'll just make things worse for the rest of us. Val still looks kind of scared and just says, I didn't say anything. Rob looks a bit put off and says, all right, well, what are you doing here? Val says, was walking the streets till I saw the crowd out there. The enforcer says, sir, we gotta do something about it. Ragnar says, I know we gotta, damn it. I guess people need a little bit of a reminder of the home that they have, the home that I built for them. They're acting very ungrateful to me for what I've done for them. So I'm gonna handle this. He pulls out a gun and Athena steps in the way and says, Ragnar, that's not how we're supposed to do this. It's not how we should do this. Ragnar says, well, apparently they forgot. So I'm gonna give them all a reminder. Make an example of what you do when you defy my orders. Athena says, no, you're not. As we see them just yelling back and forth as the enforcer gets involved too, and Vel tries speaking up and Ragnar says, stay out of this, Red. You just wait your turn. Rob sees how bad the room is getting as we see him start climbing up the stairs with his guitar. As he then walks out onto the balcony on the top building. As the crowd just stops. And then he decides to play a song for everyone.
That's horrible. That's funny how you bring that in.
Rob says, look, I came here with my friends about 2 weeks ago. I walked into this place thinking it was the end of my life. But it wasn't. This is so rare to see in a world like this. I've been thrown in cells, accused for things that I did to defend myself. I survived a horrible world for years. And that's not what you want, right? To defend yourselves? To make a difference? Well, let me tell you something. You did. Things are ugly inside this building right now. They don't know what to do about you. Things will be answered for. Because they always are, in one way, shape, or form. Listen, you don't want to be out there. You'll either be alone, you'll meet people, you'll grow to care for them, hell, maybe even love. So one day, the world takes that away from you too. I lost my daughter because of this place. Ragnar brought me in, and now I'm here to tell you, though, that I miss her very much. And it led me here. And this place is unlike anything I've ever seen. So if you want justice, we'll get it for you. But not at the cost of this place. If we don't have to do this, if we don't have this, what do we have right now? There will be no justice. You'll be letting them win, because that is how you fall. So please, stand together with your loved ones, the ones you have, the ones you love. Stand with them until you can't. As we see they applaud him, as we see Rob with a smile on his face, as he says under his breath, I still got it. He walks back downstairs to see everyone just looking at him. As he walks up to Ragnar and says, I did your job for you, boss. You're welcome. As he taps him on the shoulder and walks away. Later that night, we see the streets are clear and everyone has gone home. As we see Athena sees Rob sitting on the bench, as she walks up to him and says, where'd that come from? Rob says, what, that? I was a leader of people before. I know what they're going through. And feeling the loss is a tough thing to shake. Athena says, oh, I know. And I know you, Rob Johnson. Well, as long as the crowd is cheering for you, that's all that matters, right? She starts walking away as Rob just sits there looking emotional. We see Athena walking into a big arena. As we see, it's dark. As we see, no one's in there. She hears something coming from the locker room, and she says, "Hello? It's after hours. You should go home. It's past curfew." As she walks into the locker room, but as we see blood on the floor, as she pulls out her sword and says, "Hello? Anyone in here?" She then sees 2 dead bodies on the floor. Athena looks pissed, and then she sees in the corner of the room Holly sitting there with blood on her hands. As we see, she's shaking as Athena looks pissed and says, "Holly, Holly, what did you do?" As Holly is in a daze, as we see her hands are full of blood.
Ah! Wow. Okay, 9 out of 10. Dropped a little bit, but not much. I don't want to say it was more laid back, you know what I mean, but it kind of, you know, kind of slowed down just a smidge in terms of a lot happening. But that's not a bad thing, not at all. Not at all. It just, you know, but I did like it though. It was very good. I like that he, you know, went up there and, you know, got the crowd to cheer for him and play a cool theme and such like that. Of course, being your World Gone Man theme. And then giving a very nice motivational speech. That's so notice on that. Crazy girl though, freaking killing those 2 people. That's insane. What is that, Althea and the other one? Ooh. Yeah, the theme is in the show now. I love it. Right, big Rob episode. Yeah. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Pretty good though. Pretty good. Yeah, didn't she kill? She got 2, didn't she? The new girl is Athena. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah, Athena. Yeah. I know she killed. I'm forgetting. The one that escaped. She killed him. Right. Oh, I think it was it Dax? Yeah, it was Dax. Oh yeah, Rhea and Dax. Until she killed. Oh yeah. Okay, that makes more sense now. That's right. That's right. Oh, Rhea and Dax. Huh? Damn, crazy. Huh? She crazy. Crazy. Yes, those are little references. Seems like it, Mr. Dan. Trying to throw motherfucking Dexter in there. Damn, both of them got pretty good support too. Wow. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I gotta take a piss. One more left. Are we still going good? Oh, man. Alright. Yes, sir, started running already. Coolio. Make sure. I have to keep making sure my iPad is up to date, you know, with all the apps. Excuse me. Because, unfortunately, that's where it has issues, you know what I mean, where it'll sit there and end the stream randomly or stupid shit like that, because, you know what I mean, if the app's not up to date, it will glitch out, you know what I mean? Which is really dumb, but... So... Instagram pissed me off, though, yesterday. Wanted to kill that app. That shit was being so inconsistent. It was ridiculous. You know, because it was sitting there, kept getting error, and reloading the older messages. You know what I mean? Kept doing that bullshit, and it was for every DMs. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, me sending them, it would, you know, it would send. It would take a bit, and then it would send. And then, you know what I mean, and then, like, you know, I try to refresh it, you know, and close it out, go back into it, and it's like I never sent it. And then all of a sudden, when it started working again, then all of a sudden, like, oh, then it came back. It's like, what? What the fuck? It was so confusing. It was like, what is going on? Like, damn. Sometimes it makes my group chats disappear and I have to look them up manually. It's ridiculous. Oh, really? Damn. Okay, I don't think I've had that problem. Huh? I don't think I've had that problem. But yeah, very, very crazy. Very crazy. Very, very crazy. So it's working now, thank the Lord. Let's hope you never do. It annoys the shit out of me, I bet. I actually pinned the mod chat at the top, and I also pinned Cosmo's DMs at the top too. I did that because I don't, you know, I don't want them to, you know, I want them to stay at the top, you know what I mean, because it's important, obviously, so. And that's usually what I do for important things like that, so. Maybe I should do that for the mod chat. Yeah, I recommend it. It makes it easier, that is. You know what I mean? Now that it always stays number one, you know. And then if you do it to any others, you know what I mean, it'll just kind of fall suit, you know. So, but yeah, it definitely makes it easier. Also, then I already know it's already at the top. You know what I mean? I don't have any other DMs to knock it down. You know what I mean? I hope you're not going to slag too much sleep, though, Mr. Dan. I'm pretty sure you got to be up at 6 a.m., don't you? At least I thought. No, I don't know. Maybe that changed. I don't know. But. Hoping not discarding that away. Obviously, I can't control what you're doing, so I mean. Yeah. But. I mean, I respect you watching this live, though. I mean, much love, you know what I mean? Obviously, it doesn't matter to me when you watch it, but hopefully you're not losing out on sleep. This did definitely watch it. That may fix it, hopefully. I got a few hours, and that's all the stream, so fuck it. Well, fair enough. He's so funny. Well, hey, Mr. Bays is doing Fly By Night next, so, you know, just an FYI. But again, if you choose to go to sleep, I respect it. You know what I mean? Just when you get up, you know what I mean? Squeeze it in there. You know what I mean? If you do that. If you don't, you're being a savage. Surely. Hell, Mr. Bays is being a savage because after this one, it's definitely going to push me well into the 4 o'clock time frame. And the Fly By Night will push me near the 5 time frame ish. Maybe over it. And after that, a Hedgehog Bros. We're doing 4 or 5 episodes, so yeah. So I'm suffering, but you know what? I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm pushing through. I need to get back. I need to get back into it. If I don't use some of these days, I'm really gonna get behind. So at the moment, they're not doing any episodes, so I need to take advantage of that. And I've been slacking, so I need to get into it. I might once a month I'll watch it though. The streams are too damn good. I can't help it. Hey, I don't knock it. I appreciate it, Dad. I really do. I appreciate the love, man. Much love, man. You know, I can't help with your videos either, man. They're good. They're entertaining. So, I sure as hell try. I sure as hell try. You know what I mean? There's a lot of content though I'm slacking on, and I really just need to get back into it. Gotta get back into it. I need to get back into the gaming streams, man. I need to get back into that because like I'm truly slacking on those, and it's starting to kind of be like, you know, it's like, what am I doing? It's like, what am I doing? I need to get into it. It's just that it's that motivational drive. You know what I mean? I need to really just push. You know what I mean? I need to just be like, no, I'm not going to sleep. Fuck you. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. So, once a month though, I'll let you know my thoughts on Five Night Reaction. Oh, you're good, man. No worries. I'm not knocking you. Whenever you can fit it in. Whenever you can fit it in. So, alrighty. Last but not least, let's get it. And then the last 3 parts, 27, 28, and 29 will be next Wednesday. And that will finish season 3 of Oregon Man in the Prey. So, and then we'll be on season 4 after that. So, oh yeah, excited for sure. We got a lengthy one for that one too. So, 27 is a movie too. Yeah, I'm combining that with 28 and 29. So in this excuse me, it'll be an extra movie. Let's get it. Bam. Part 26. What builds us and destroys us. Last but not least.
Earlier, we see Holly in her apartment sharpening her knives as she looks at her necklace on the table, as it says, Morgan on it. As she still looks very upset, but then, she hears a knock at the door. As she opens it, as we see Athena says, Holly, right? Holly says, yeah. What's it to you? Athena says, you're part of Rob's group, correct? You all are being tested in your own manner, and I was tasked to come here and teach you our ways. Ragnar says he wants to see what you can do. So let's see what you can do. Holly says, what can I do? Athena says, please, come with me. as Holly walks with her, as she holds her necklace and says, "Lead the way."
Oh, bringing Morgan into the franchise now? Shout out to Mega Man. Morgan was her friend who died last season. Oh, okay. Oh! Actually, I think I remember that. I instantly went to Morgan from the main show. I was like, what the? Yeah, actually, I think it's starting. I kind of actually remember that.
Later on, at 3 a.m., we see Ragnar driving through Wyoming, listening to Poker Plans by Arthur Morgan, as he says, "I've always got a plan." As we see him bobbing his head back and forth, as we then see he pulls over into the arena.
Rob it, grab it, shoot it, land it, touchy, I'm with you.
We see Holly with two swords fighting two guys at once. As we see, she's absolutely destroying these guys. As Ragnar walks in, as we see Athena saying, "Okay, and time. Holly wins round 4. Let's take 5. The fight happens tonight." Ragnar says, "How's the new girl doing?" Athena says, "Actually catching on pretty quick. It's clearly experienced by the looks of it." "No one catches on that quick." Ragnar says, "Experience. I like that. Whatever you do, don't let go over that. I mean, if she truly is that good." "Nice work, Athena. See you tonight." We see the two guys sitting on the bench as Athena walks up to them and says, "You guys good to get back out there?" One of them says, "We might need more time." Athena says, "More time? Since when do you both need more time?" The other guy says, "More time to understand what kind of animal you dragged in here." The woman has experience. Athena says, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble finding a reason to understand why this is a problem for you both. Are you seriously saying you're backing out this close to the event? The man says, "No. I have to do this. I need to work my way up anyway. My family, my kids, they're counting on me, so I'm staying." "But maybe you could find us a different opponent," Athena says. "Absolutely not. Holly's staying in. She's one of my new favorites. I chose her for this because I wanted to see what she can do. She showed me. And you're showing me something I really don't want to hear. If you have a problem with your position, or if you have a complaint, take your ass up to the boss man and deal with it yourselves. Cry about it." She walks away, and then she turns around and says, "Halftime's over. Get up. Run it again." Back in Lincolnville, we see Ryder doing some target practice, as we see a man in a suit walks up to him and says, "Damn, you never miss, don't you?" Ryder says, "I can say the same for you. What are you doing back in town, Kai? I thought you were out on that hunt." Kai says, "Well, I was, till I heard what went down. Damn psychopaths at a farm. People wearing skulls for helmets. Sounds like maniac behavior if I've ever seen it."
Oh, yeah.
Ryder says, "Well, I'm glad you're back." Kai says, "I heard the talk of the town. Aren't you gonna tell me something?" Ryder just looks at him, and Kai says, "You're gonna have a family, man. Hell, something I tried to have, and it failed." Ryder doesn't look all that happy, and Kai says, "Hey, man, you really gonna tell me you're not happy? Hell, you've always wanted an opportunity like this." Ryder says, "No, I'm happy. It's just, I guess I'm just not so happy they may not get a chance to even grow up here." Kai says, "Wait, what the hell are you talking about, man? You're doing it again." Ryder says, "What? Doing what?" Kai says, "Predicting the worst. Look, your kid will grow up here. Even if I have to nail every goddamn one of those psychos' heads in, I will. We're not losing anymore. You know what I think? I think you're expecting the worst. Because in some fucked up way, you've gotten used to that way of living. So let me ask you something.
What did they do to you?
Ryder then shoots and hits his target perfectly as Kai looks on edge of it, and Ryder says,
You know me. They didn't do a damn thing to me, but held me up. I'm fine.
Kai says,
Alright. Listen, I gotta go, but maybe we can share a drink later or something?
Ryder says, celebration drink, right? Kai says, absolutely.
That's more like it.
As Ryder stands there and smiles a little.
You got me a little bit there. I'll have to look down. Oh.
Back in Wyoming, we see Ragnar walking the streets as we see him stopping and getting a slice of pizza. We see him waving at people. We then see him walking the streets as he then sees a poster in a pawn shop's window that says, Rob Johnson, our savior. Ragnar looks at this and says,
Well, there goes my fucking day. Guy plays one tune and suddenly he's the MVP? Do these people forget who made this man's career possible? Unbelievable.
We then see a man walk up to him in a suit and says, excuse me, Mr. Ragnar. Do you have a minute? Ragnar says, plenty of them, but not one to share with you, Desmond. Desmond says, well, look, I'd like to talk to you about one of my clients I had yesterday. Real pain. He didn't really respect any of my people, and I just thought maybe you could set him straight. Ragnar says, look, I'm sure he's a hoot, alright? But I got a million other things to do today, alright? Enemies to fight, people to answer to, Rob getting his ass kissed, and now suddenly you have problems? Just play your part, alright, Mr. Walton? Desmond says, of course, sir. I'll stay out of your territory. Ragnar walks back into his office as he opens the door and sees the two guys from earlier that were fighting Holly. As Ragnar walks in and says,
does anybody knock anymore? God, I wish I didn't kill my assistant. Anyway, what do you want?
The guy says, well, sir, I wanted to discuss a bit of a problem we're having. Ragnar says,
Problem? Well, it seems to be the topic of the day.
The other guy says, well, we were just concerned about our opponent, sir. Holly from the new crew. Ragnar says,
What about her?
The guy says, well, she's kind of rough, sir. I'd really like to get someone more fair that doesn't go too hard on people. She's clearly letting out some built-up anger inside of her or some crazy shit. I mean, she damn near broke my arm, Ragnar. Ragnar says,
You done?
the guy nods and he says,
Okay, so, let me get this straight. Are you pissing your little wankers because you got beat up by a woman? Have we sunken that low? You sound like one of those sensitive pricks that used to claim everything was woke back in the day. Luckily, the world went to shit and that bullshit died with it. Thank Christ. Listen, boys, and yes, boys, not men, because, well, look at you. You have a problem with how things are going with that Holly girl? Then deal with it yourselves. Whatever you want to do.
He gets up and one of them turns and says, well, what would you do if you were in our position, sir? Ragnar says,
Well, to ease your pain and kiss your little boo-boo, I would corner her. I'd scare her a little. Tell her it's my way now, or the high road.
the other guy says, wait, like, do anything we want, basically?
Ragnar says, yeah, sure, whatever. Look, you came to me and said that you had a problem, correct?
The guy says, yeah, and Athena defends her.
Ragnar says, well, that's a shock to the world. Look, you want something to change?
He looks at them and says,
Well, you better work on changing it then, son.
back in Lincolnville. We see Ryder serving drinks at a bar. As we see Kai walks in, and one of the guys says, hey, Ryder, you got a customer. Ryder says,
Kai, what can I get you?
Kai says, surprise me. Ryder says, all right.
Well, we'll just pull out the old moonshine then.
Kai said,
Oh, I didn't say get me hammered, man. Jesus.
Ryder says, you know, I miss this. You're just a few weeks away. I miss this. Kai says, you seem different. Ryder says, yeah, I mean, being in captivity would make you a little different, I suppose. Kai says, cut the shit, man. You ain't you, man. You're not. You are not one for moping around with your head down. Ryder puts his head down and Kai says, see? Head down. Ryder says, you don't know me. Kai says, hey, man. I've known you since we were on the other side of that goddamn border all those years ago. That's a long ways from now. And now you turn your back on me? After all that I've done for you. Ryder says, yeah, things in Canada were dangerous. But they're even worse now. All those people just living under that psycho's boot? Kai says, there it is. You know, I've been focused on your problems, but the problem's written all over your face. It ain't you that needs helping. You want to go back, save the people that you couldn't save. Ryder is pouring a drink and says, look, I know my mom thinks that I'm a fucking disappointment for not getting all of her people out of there. And hell, if I'm going to take over and lead this place one day, how the hell can I do that if I can't even get everyone else out? Kai says, you want to go back, don't you? Ryder says, my mom would kill me if I tried. I'm tired of disappointing her. Kai says, well, we can figure a way around that. Frankly, it's been bothering me too. I got an idea if you just listen to me. Ryder says, what were you thinking? Kai says, you know where this Wyoming is located at? Ryder says, not specifically, but I know the general area. I'm sure we could find it. Kai says, well, that's all we need. We're gonna get in. But with us getting in, means the beginning of something else.
Pizza.
Back in Wyoming, we see the arena closing down for the night. As we see everyone has gone home, and Holly is gathering her stuff in the changing room. As she hears a door open in the distance, as she yells out, I'm sorry, we're closed. You can come back tomorrow, though. She doesn't hear an answer, and she says, hello? Hello? We see these two shadows of two guys walking into the room. She looks on edge and says, who the hell are you? The men don't speak as she backs up against the wall and says, what do you want? The man says, shh. They hit her in the side with a crowbar. As she falls, as they start beating her up, she's trying to fight back, but her side is bleeding. They repeatedly punch her over and over again. As we see, she hits one of them, but he gets back up and kicks her down again once more. But then, we see one of them just looks at the other guy and just kind of tilts his head to the side. We hear a small chuckle. As he starts taking his pants off, as he forces her to the floor, as he then starts raping her, as the other guy stands there and laughs, as we see her crying, and as we see her pull herself together, as she sees his crowbar on the floor, but she can't reach it. She then sees her necklace from Morgan is broken into two pieces on the floor. As she quickly grabs the sharp end of the necklace, as she headbutts the man to the ground,
damn.
and as she then slices his throat open, as the blood is gushing out, as she then stands there covered in his blood, as the other guy looks a bit nervous. As she grabs him by the collar and smashes his face against the concrete wall repeatedly and keeps hitting him against the wall over and over again until his head is nothing but mush. As she then falls to her knees and she breaks down. But then, she takes the mask off of the man and sees. It's her opponents. It's the guys she was fighting before.
I figured.
As she looks angry, and then we hear a door opening in the distance. We see Athena walking into a big arena. As we see, it's dark. As we see, no one's in there. She hears something coming from the locker room, and she says, hello? It's after hours. You should go home. It's past curfew. As she walks into the locker room, but as we see blood on the floor. as she pulls out her sword and says, "Hello? Anyone in here?" She then sees two dead bodies on the floor. Athena looks pissed, and then she sees in the corner of the room Holly sitting there with blood on her hands. As we see, she's shaking as Athena looks pissed and says, "Holly, Holly, what did you do?" As Holly is in a daze, as we see her hands are full of blood. Holly says, "They tried to kill me." Athena says, "I see that. But murder is murder." Later on, we see Holly locked up in a cell. As we see Athena walks up to her and says, "Hope you're okay." Holly says, "Why the hell would you care? Keeping me locked up like an animal. After two men just did what they did to me? They raped me? Beat me? And you have the audacity to sit there and ask me if I'm okay?" Athena says, "Yup. And for the reasons you just said, we're gonna have a lot of cleaning up to do for this one." Holly says, "What, Ragnar? You gonna send him in here to fix everything? Jesus Christ, that's all you people ever do." Athena says, "Well, actually, but then..." We hear a knock at the door as Athena says, "Come in, it's open." We see Boots walking into the cell. As we see a man in a suit, as we see the man says, "Hi, I'm Desmond Walton. I'm sorry about what happened." Athena says, "We're not here to hurt you, Holly. Quite the opposite, in fact. But you were right. I'm keeping you here because of Ragnar. I'm keeping you here to protect you." Desmond says, "We better get our heads together. Because once we take this to Ragnar, once he figures out what this is, what happened, this could go one of two ways. This thing will either go our way, or it's going to crumble right in our hands."
Ah, I had a feeling you were going to do that. Yes. Damn. It made sense that those two guys came in there. It did, 100%. I mean, it didn't even shock me on the review. I figured that one. It made 110% sense. Though I didn't think they were going to do that. Didn't think they were going to go that far. Jeez. That is crazy. Honestly, crazy. Wow. 10 out of 10. Give that a 10. Yeah, some fire ass beats in this shit. Damn. Only got the worst of it. Yes. Extra theme, LOL. Yes. Ah. Looks like it may not do everything that Ragnar wants her to. W rating. Yeah. Yeah, that was. I did not expect that. The second I started here, I'm like, ah. Dexter. God damn it. You're me into Dexter now. God damn it. But W, good song though, in the beginning though. Or near the beginning, I should say. W song. Shit, I'm already forgetting the name of it, but I knew the song. Yeah, I knew the song was a good song. Poker Plans was a fun song to use, and Ragnar liked his music a lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Alright. very good ones, honestly. I mean, shit. Those damn fire ones. One that I didn't expect. I was like, oh shit. And I'm into Dexter again. Yeah, perfect 10. Wow. Damn good episodes. Wow. Solid. Very good. Part 21, 10 out of 10. Part 22, 9 out of 10. Part 23, 10 out of 10. Part 24, 10 out of 10. Part 25, 9 out of 10. And part 26, 10. So there you go. There's all the ratings. Very good episodes. Lots of crazy stuff going down. Intense moments, crazy action scenes, crazy death scenes in some cases. Crazy dark moments that really took some crazy situations into even a more crazier situation. And interesting situations with some of the characters for sure. Definitely intrigued to watch the next one, which is the movie, of course. And, of course, the last two parts of season 3. So, definitely excited to, for sure, see how season 3 ends. Well, actually continues and then ends. Before, of course, jumping into season 4. So, but yeah, very good, for sure. Very good. On to use the next one. You may notice the next one is a movie called The Artist and the Con. It serves as 3 parts in one. It's Bachelor and Rob and Ragnar Pass when they work together. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Coolio. Show me. Yeah. Show me. Alrighty. So. Ah! Well, I'll be damned. I will be damned, Mr. Dan. Wow. Huh. Well, you know, congratulations, Mr. Dan. The one time and probably the only time. That's it. At least at this moment. You took the number 1 spot. Tell me it's Mr. Dan. Wow, I did not expect that. I really did not. Damn, so my slacking on Hedgehog Bros bumped it. Well. W reaction, thank you. Ragnar is a funny character. We try to make him evil, but like him at the same time, man. I'm number 1. Let's go. I did it. Of course, you already know, Mr. Dan. It ain't gonna last for long. I'll enjoy this for now because it'll go back down. Oh, yes. You're damn right about that. Literally, the second I do 1 episode of Hedgehog Bros, it'll probably go back down. If not, then 2 for sure. Without a question. W's, though, I'll tell you what. W's for sure. Oh, they changed their profile thing. They actually changed it. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, they changed their background too. Huh? Damn. Okay. Huh. It's Sonic and Amy's kids. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. What an interesting change. Now they're the front page. Huh. This is gonna be interesting. I'll say. I'm very curious where the hell this goes. I'm very curious where it goes. Damn. That's crazy. Oh. But I'll accept it a little while. Yeah, 110%. Now they changed a lot though. No cap on that. Wow, they changed. That's interesting. Huh. That's very interesting. I'm very curious where this story's gonna go. And how well can they maintain it? I will say, because I've been averaging almost the eighths, you know, for the most part. So I will say it definitely stepped up for sure. Well, you know what, Mr. Dan, I'll take a picture right here. Number one. Oh, we gotta do a better picture than that. Come on now. Nice and clean. There we go. Yeah! There we go. Oh shit. Mr. Dan did it! What is he doing? Hitting on my Dexter string? I don't know why that guy's questioning my Dexter string, saying amazing video, question mark. I'm like, huh? That's why you gotta watch when I'm live or within the first 7 hours. Otherwise, you're gonna get the edited version. Yeah. If that's his complaint. Come on now. The whole point is my reaction. Are you watching the show? It feels like a reset. Yeah, it does feel like a reset for sure. I'm just curious how often they're going to be in it. You know what I mean? I'm putting them two on front. And that's it. Which is interesting. Like, you're not even putting Tails in there. Hell, you're not even putting Sonic in there. You're not even putting Amy in there. I mean, you're not putting any of them in there. It's just a son and daughter. That's it. which is interesting. Yeah, it's been interesting. Curious how high my ratings would be. Huh? And how much I'll like the characters. Yeah, we gotta remember this glorious moment. Even the prey paid respects to Dexter. Yeah, that's right. You're right about that, Mr. Dave. That's right. Alright, yeah, I sent the picture in that chat, so, or in the mod chat, so. W's Mr. Dan. Because he'll probably never get it again. Maybe, I don't know. I can't completely rule it out, I guess. Because I guess if this similar situation happens, I guess it very well could happen, actually. Maybe if they take long breaks, you very well could take that number one spot, you know what I mean, during that time. And it might not be right away either. It might take a day, you know what I mean? Or two, depending. You know, but then obviously it depends on how much content you have in between. You know what I mean? And such like that. It to be enough to overcome that number one spot. You know? So yeah. And you did it here. Of course, I did do a big run on the prey, so I think that definitely helped. 100%. Of course, I have been slacking on Hedgehog Bros a bit. I'm not gonna lie, so you can thank Mr. Bays. But Mr. Bays ain't slacking no more. So, like I said, that's why I said enjoy this glorious moment. You'll enjoy it for now, especially since I'm going to be watching Fly By Night now. So that will definitely maintain that number one spot. For sure. But the second, I already know it, the second I start watching the next episode, you might still keep it after that first one. You know what I mean? But I think the second I go into that second one and I finish that one, I think you might lose it at that point. And if you manage to fight that second one, it's definitely the third one then, for sure. The third one will guarantee it. Without a question. You might be able to fight two. You might be able to, because, let's see. I don't know how many episodes, let's see. Because you got 40 minutes here, and then how many, well, actually, how long is this? 2 hours and 37 minutes, so what, this was a good hour and a half, right? Hour and 40 plus, see you, well, definitely, after I finish the third one, it'll definitely retake it. I can bet you on that one. I can bet you on that one. You know what I mean? You got lucky because I did a big grind. You got lucky, and of course I've been slacking on Hedgehog Bros, so you're definitely lucky, without a question. Without a question. You might be live to see the end of the Prey season 4. Oh, maybe. You're catching up faster than I thought it would. Yeah, the end of the reviews at number 1 for a limited time only. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, because once I get on a consistency with Hedgehog Bros, shit, you'll be done for. But, hey, number 2, though. You know what I mean? But, hey, hey, you got it for now because Mr. Bays helped you. He helped you out. For now. Once I start that 3rd episode, the number one will say, adios, my friend. It's nice having you. I can at least say I hit one. I'm happy now regardless of yeah, right? I'll take the picture when it happens too. I would be surprised too. If I get done with 3 and you're still number 1, I'll be like, damn. I'll be like, wow. Mr. Dan, he's holding. I'll be like, damn, he's holding. But, you can find it, but you won't succeed. Especially once I do the 4th one, and potentially the 5th. It will overcome. Lengthy episodes. Beat it. So right now I got pizza for a bad bitch. I'm holding it for now. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to 4. I think that's what I'm gonna do. 4 episodes. I'll see. Alrighty. Well, those are my ratings. Shout out to Dan Reviews. Shout out to Mega Man. Links for their channels are in the description. Of course, all credit goes to them. Show them love, support. I would appreciate it very much. Tell them Mr. Bays sent you. They make fire content as well. So check out Fly by Night as well. That's coming up next. Playlist for the World Gone Mad Complete Universe. See it for yourself from the beginning to the end. And the spinoff, of course. You already know. Playlist is in the description as always. Check that out. My playlist for my reaction to this series eventually will be in the description as well. So social media is down below as always. 2nd channel, Twitch, Heisberg's channel. Become a member. All down there as always. Extra content. Help support me. Goes a long way. Go for 5, 6 likes. I would appreciate it very much. Subscribe. More for content like this. I would appreciate it. Hit that bell. Be notified every time I go live or upload content. Let's get it. See you guys in the next one. Yeah, peace out. You have a great night. Thank you for joining in, Mr. Dan. We're ready to sign now. Peace! Have a good one, guys. Much less safe. Let me know your guys' ratings and thoughts in the chat or in the comments below. Peace!